What's up, guys? Simon here, and today I want to go ahead and do my reaction to the vice presidential debate between Vice President Mike Pence and potentially the new Vice President Kamala Harris. As you guys know, I've been doing a little bit more political videos recently with the election coming up, I believe about 30 days away or less than 30 days away. We are in that season. I actually have some experience with Kamala Harris and growing up in San Francisco, so you kind of understand who the local politicians are. Before I get into this video, go ahead, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. As always, comment below. I like reading comments of both opinions, and no comment is too bad. So go ahead, comment as well, and let's get into this video. Okay, guys, so first of all, I like this debate much more than the President Trump and Biden debate that we saw a week ago. I'm glad they still had the debate, even though Trump tested positive for coronavirus and Pence obviously tested negative, and so did Kamala Harris. This debate was a little bit different. They had the plexiglass in between. They both were sitting. I think that was done intentionally to keep them at bay a little bit. I felt like both candidates in this debate particularly were a lot more respectful. There wasn't much back and forth. And I think they did a much better job of letting the viewers or the public know their positions on certain stances, or at least you could hear them answer the questions how they chose to answer them. Now, during this debate, both candidates dodged questions. I would say Kamala Harris dodged more questions or specific topics of that question than President Pence. President Pence, in my opinion, dodged partially the pro-life choice. He did comment that the new justice has her own vision on pro-life and Roe versus Wade. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, in my opinion, lied about fracking, which she has been recorded stating that she would ban it along with Joe Biden. And in this debate, she denied it.
My family lives in western Pennsylvania, where fracked gas wells have become a common sight. Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yeah.
No new fracking.
We are going to get rid of fossil fuels.
Well, like, what about, say, stopping fracking and stopping new pipe?
Would there be any place for fossil fuels, including coal and fracking, in a Biden administration?
No, we would work it out. We would make sure it's eliminated.
There was other questions that she dodged, such as packing the court, which is a really big one as well. And the two actually got along pretty well. I think it was a much better way of debating. I feel like the moderator this time was a lot better. The moderator seemed to stay out of it and let the candidates answer like they should, while giving them their 2 minutes plus, I would say, 15 seconds per answer. I felt like the moderator also did a great job in allowing them to rebuttal just for a brief moment to what the previous statements were from the other candidate or the vice president, so from Kamala or Mike Pence in this case. Brief history. My wife actually worked under Kamala Harris at the San Francisco District Attorney's Office when she volunteered there, part of her law school degree, which she ended up not pursuing, but she worked for a district attorney named Marshall Kine that was prosecuting murders and so forth in the city of San Francisco. So go figure. She has met Kamala before. Of course, Kamala was always busy and doing things. But a good thing to note in regards to this, Kamala Harris talks a lot about fairness and in this debate particularly, and making sure that the black people understand her. But I will say that she locked up a lot of black individuals under the smallest drug offenses. She's even stated or quoted to basically misuse her power to keep a innocent man jailed to better her record. That's something you could read on the internet. So she was a person that was really for padding her numbers in incarcerations and locking people up and so forth. And at the same time, she locked up a lot of people for marijuana abuse and then laughed about it. This is according to a lot of sources on the internet. Kamala Harris does not have the best record in terms of what she's advertising out there personally. She was also brought up by Mayor Willie Brown. And Mayor Willie Brown, I actually know. Personally, I was at his birthday. I know him through my sister, and he's a really nice guy. To me, he's always been pleasant. I find him to be very charismatic and very proud of his accomplishments, of what he was able to achieve, not only as a mayor for San Francisco, but for himself personally as well. And keep in mind, when Mayor Willie Brown was mayor of San Francisco, I was a younger kid. Now, Mayor Willie Brown is who brought up Kamala Harris. Overall, today, I think Mike Pence won the debate. He is very composed and poised and calm, and I think he is a great vice president to President Trump, because President Trump has a lot of energy. He has a lot of fight in him. He is more like a bull. And I felt like President Pence, or Vice President Pence, I should say, was very reserved and calm. And what you would expect from an individual that has a lot of experience at his age, he cordially answered. He was very calm with his answers. He nodded when he didn't agree with something. He did interrupt Kamala one time during the debate, but it was not out of context. It was more answer that question on packing the court. And then the big interruption led to President Biden repealing the tax cuts, which would have Americans lose about $2,000 on average for an average American family. In this debate, I felt like they missed, or they didn't go too deep into the rioting. Pence said he's with the law. They condemned that, and they have been from the beginning. I think Kamala's effort was to really blame Trump for the lack of coronavirus handling. And in recent polls, it actually showed that the coronavirus handling is as important to people as the economy. So that is a pretty big point that they were trying to fight on. So we all know that Trump has done well with the economy in the 3.5 years he's been here. I mean, we're talking lowest black unemployment, lowest Latino unemployment, lowest unemployment period, a good GDP growth right before the coronavirus. But a lot of people have attacked him on the coronavirus issue. One thing that I feel like Pence failed on, there was a question asked about the health of each individual, Biden and Trump. And what would be the role of the vice president? Because a lot of people on the right side are saying, hey, the candidate is right there. The vice president, Kamala Harris, has a very high chance of being president because of potentially Biden's decline in health. I felt like Pence did not answer that question correctly at all. When they questioned President Trump's recent health with the coronavirus and the way, what would be the proper procedure if Trump had to step down, and then also if Pence is of proper age to resume and so forth, and what are the health reports from their doctors, what are they hiding and so forth on both parties. I felt like Pence should have just said, hey, President Trump just beat coronavirus in 3 days at his age. He feels healthy. He's been campaigning more than the other candidate. He's been showing a good cognitive capability to have discussions. He's been presenting for hours in front of crowds. He's doing great. Pence should have raised the point of actually Biden's decline, because there are videos out there of him accusing his wife as his sister, or vice versa, or his sister being his wife, and just reading lines from teleprompters that he should not read, looking puzzled at times, saying weird numbers and so forth. So Pence kind of dodged that whole situation. I think it was done intentionally. They didn't want to have too much merit on Biden's decline, and they kind of, I feel like, want the public to make their own opinion on his decline. And given the last debate, Biden actually held his ground pretty well. But still, he could have raised that point and said, hey, there's nothing wrong with Trump according to the doctors. He is a little bit obese, but not critically like the media is reporting. And at the same time, the guy just beat coronavirus in 3 days. He's out and about. He's ready to debate and so forth. while Biden, as if you look at a Biden video from 5 years ago to a Biden video as of last few months, you'll see that there's definitely some decline of some type of coherency or, just memory or whatever it may be. So he failed on that. I think he should have hit harder. Taxes got touched. I'm glad they touched taxes, and I'm glad Pence pointed out that under the Biden-Harris administration, the taxes would be raised. A lot of people would potentially lose their jobs with the Green New Deal, which would cost X amount of money. He also mentioned that the Green Deal is, and their version of it is almost identical to the version that was released by Senator Sanders. And at the same time in that Green Deal, he also pointed out that the moderator where she works at, they also said the deals are pretty much the same from Senator Sanders to Biden's proposed Green Deal, which was supposed to be modified, and it wasn't that much, I guess. Of course, the funniest part of the moment was when a fly landed on Mike Pence.
Is a great insult to the men and women who serve in law enforcement. And I want everyone to know who puts on the uniform of law enforcement every day that President Trump and I stand with you.
At that point, I could not understand what either party was saying for a good 2 minutes. I concentrated on that fly. The fly was of darker color on Pence's shiny white hair. And I'm not sure if he knew or if Senator Harris saw it on his head, but it distracted the crap out of me, and it distracted a lot of people. In fact, if you go on Instagram, whoever's supporting the Democratic Party basically said that fly landed on shit, which is rude. And if you go on the Republican side and you listen to them, they're basically saying even flies vote for Trump and Pence. So to me, that was awkward. They should get a fly trap for the next event. I feel kind of bad for Mike Pence. Otherwise, he had a pretty good debate, and I think he beat out Kamala Harris, who smiled awkwardly and had so many face gestures, probably more than me, throughout this whole event. And she was just all over the place and awkward smiles and so forth. And I think that's why she was actually never nominated for presidency, because her in person or her debate skills are just not up to par with someone like Obama, who was, in my opinion, an excellent speaker, a good debater, and someone that could present himself well on camera. So she was just awkward on camera. She did not have that personal warmth to her, in my opinion. She got awfully quiet when Pence attacked her for her locking up so many black people in her area while claiming to be for the African American population. And she was just dead silent and couldn't really rebuttal that, because that's a fact. Overall, did this debate help anyone make up their mind if they're voting for Trump or for Biden? Honestly, I don't think it helps that much. I think people that are voting for Trump, and how Pence even said it, he said, hey, the people that voted for us in 2016 are still going to be voting for us because we've done a great job. And possibly now even more people are realizing that they don't want the rioting. They don't want the Antifa or the craziness that's going on around them and the restrictions. And there might even be more people voting for Trump. What's weird about this whole thing is election polls all over the place, from Fox News to every other news outlet, are in Biden's favor. And not by a point or 2 or 3, but at times by 10 points. That is a lot. I don't know if it's the same thing that happened during the Clinton campaign, where Clinton was winning and then everybody started crying at the end, that was expecting her to win because every single poll showed her in the lead. It looks like the same thing is happening this time around, and Trump is losing by a wide margin. Yet you see some of these rallies on TV and so forth, it looks like there's still a lot of people supporting him. And this time more Latinos for sure, including on places like social media. You see a lot of Latinos supporting him. I feel like there's a lot more African American people voting for Trump this time around. And I'm not sure, I do feel like Biden is not the best candidate as well to go up against someone like Trump or to take over a second term or to take that title belt away. There could have been other potential candidates that were stronger. So with the flies, the going back and forth in a cordial manner, the debate went on, and the overall effect of this debate is we got some good answers out of it. No one bit each other during the debate, and overall we got to hear what a potential next president would sound like. Because guys, it's been said, and girls, sorry, guys and girls, it's been said that Kamala Harris could potentially be the president of the United States should Biden, continue to deteriorate and have a mental decline or at any point step down from presidency. Kamala would assume that role. So anyway, guys, here's some of my feedback on the debate. I enjoyed it. It was subtle. It had better answers. It also had some dodged questions on both sides. But overall, I enjoyed it. I don't think it was as entertaining, as exciting as a Royal Rumble we saw last time. But overall, it's a good indicator of what's to come in the next debate, which I feel like both candidates will be more subtle because no one liked the yelling, the hollering, and the screaming over each other. I hope you guys liked this video. As always, please hit the like button and subscribe and comment. I do read the comments, and I actually respond to the comments. This will probably be my second of the 3 political videos I'll do, and then I'll get back to normal routine of doing things I actually like that are not going on in our lives all over the place. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Have a good day. See you guys here next time. Bye.